Today we're going to do a simple movement flow that's useful anytime your breath feels restricted, or if you just like to do a breathing-based movement exploration. I'm going to have you sit in a chair, and I want you to pick one with no armrests, and you're going to sit on it with your body scooted a little forward so there's space between your body and the back of the chair. You want to make sure you can sit right on your sit bones, so if you can't sense them at the front of the chair like that, you might want to sit at a diagonal, because here, like if I wobble side to side, I can line up the two sit bones at the corners. I just have to sit with my legs a little wider. Okay, so explore that. Pick your position. And then let's go back to your sit bones for just a sec before we get started. You want to be on your sit bones, maybe even a little bit tipped towards the front of them. And that's going to line up your pelvic bowl like a bowl, that could hold soup. From there, we want to stack up your rib cage right over your pelvis and your head over your shoulders. Let's begin just feeling our breath to tune in. So you're just going to wrap your arms around your ribs like you were hugging yourself, and I have my fingertips spread apart so I'm cupping a lot of the side of my rib cage. As you start breathing, let's try to breathe in and out through your nose. If you're stuffy, switch to mouth breathing. As you inhale, you're going to feel your rib cage expanding into your hands as the lungs fill with air. When you exhale, your ribs are going to draw back in towards the midline of your body, pulling away from your hands. As you inhale, allow the ribs to open into your fingers. Let the container get bigger to allow all that air in. And then when you blow the air out, just observe that slow process of the ribs hugging back in to press out the air. When you inhale, drink the air deep into your lungs, which will encourage that expansion and allow the diaphragm to descend down to make more space. When you exhale, while your ribs pull in from the sides, it helps push your diaphragm up, which is what expels the air. Let's try that again. As you breathe in, keep your shoulders relaxed and let the breath expand the rib cage in 3 dimensions. And then as you exhale, maintain your nice tall posture and blow all that air out. Okay, so this is your focal point of your breath, getting into the lowest lobes of the lungs and allowing movement from your diaphragm. Now we're always going to have that at the center of the exercises, and we're just going to add a little spinal movement. I want you to take your left hand and place it on your right chest at an upward diagonal with your fingertips pointing towards your shoulder. And you're going to take your right hand and stick it on your waist. So I have my thumb near my ribs, my pinky finger near my hip. This exercise is called turning the lid on a jar, and it adds a little bit of rotation and a feeling of lifting and dropping in rhythm with your breathing. On your inhale, you're going to rotate towards the right side, and I want you to let your breath go right into your hands. So as you fill up, we twist and grow taller. Then when you exhale, rotate back towards your waist hand and feel the compression of your abdominals and a sense of sinking as you blow out the air. As you inhale, push down into your sit bones. Imagine drinking that air in all the way from your pelvis up to your head. And then when you exhale, feel everything compressing into the midline as you rotate back towards the left side. As you inhale, you're visualizing the lid turning off. You're opening the jar. And then when you exhale, you're closing the lid on the jar, and you feel that compression and that sink. Now I'm trying to stay vertical, so even though I'm talking about getting bigger, smaller, I'm never rounding forward. I'm keeping my head stacked over my rib cage. Now let's switch hands. Okay, so we get up into that left corner of the chest, right at the waist. And now see how the movement changes when we reverse where your attention is. So now you're going to inhale as you turn towards the left side with that feeling of being light and growing. And then exhale, rotate back towards the right and feel your compression. As you inhale, feel the expansion. You remember the diaphragm is dropping down, making space for the lungs to fill. And then exhale, rotate back towards your hip. Inhale, grow tall. Reach the crown of your head away from your sit bones. Exhale, pull your belly button in. And as you twist, head, ribs, and hips stay stacked. Just one more time. Inhaling, letting the breath guide the movement both ways. And then just turn that lid on the jar again, closing it one last time. Now let's come back to center. Next, we're going to do a little flexion and extension, forward and backwards. You're going to place your hands behind your head, gripping wide by your elbows. If that's not comfortable, I'd rather you went here because I am going to need that in another exercise. I'm holding out close by my ears and letting my elbows start a little forward of my shoulders. So you're first just going to take a breath in, and let's create a lengthening energy again. It's always good we get tall before we start moving. When you exhale, I want you to round forward, stay on the sit bones, and just curl your upper spine. It's kind of like a candy cane would look. Then when you inhale, you're going to stack your spine back up. But we're going to go past where you started. You're going to lift your chest with the breath and go into extension. On your exhale, round forward. So this is flexion. And I want you to let your elbows come in a little as you go down. And then as you inhale, stack back up. Open your elbows wide as you lift your heart. Exhale, curl forward. Now your breath should bring the ribs together and down. It should be easy to pull you into flexion. Then as you inhale, your ribs are naturally lifting and separating as they fill with the air. That brings you up into extension. Exhale as you curl forward. I want you to pretend you're a flower as we do this exercise. So on your inhale, you're blooming, you're rising up, you're filling, you're looking up at the sun with those wide petals. And then exhale, it's nighttime, it's a little chilly. We're gonna curl back down into flexion. As you lift up, let the flower bloom again. Feel your shoulder blades go back and down to lift your chest. And then exhale, feel the shoulder blades spread apart to release you into flexion. Let's do that one more time, going up and down. Inhale, you lift. Make sure you're still on the sit bones, even at the top of the move. And then exhale, pull those abs and sink forward. Now let's find vertical this time. So you're going to stack your spine, one bone at a time, and come back to where we started. Okay, so there it's great. We got a lot of movement of your ribs, but also a little slide and glide of your shoulder blades, and they really affected your ability to change the shape of your spine. So the last range of motion we're going to play with is a side bend. So I'm going to have you leave one arm hanging down to the side, and you're going to take your other hand behind your head. So again, if this is a strain, bring your hand to your shoulder or down here to your chest. Okay, first, let's just feel the effect of doing a side bend. So on your exhale breath, I'm going to have you bend towards the hand that's hanging, and I still want you to stay on your sit bones. So it's just like a slinky starting to go down the stair. Now when you're in your side bend, if you inhale, you're going to feel much more expansion on this top side that we're stretching, and then exhale to come back up. Let's just feel that one more time. So just grow taller with your inhale, and then when you exhale, side bend. So now I feel contraction. This is where I'm stabilizing from, this side of my waist. And then as I inhale, I'm stretching my abdominals, the little muscles between my ribs, and then exhale, stack back up. We're gonna do more, but I'm gonna add one more piece. So you're gonna inhale, get tall again, exhale, pour yourself over, and I want you to hold this pose. Now as you breathe in, you're gonna take your top arm, reach it overhead, and that's gonna increase the stretch you feel up your side. Exhale, take your hand to your head. Inhale, stack up, maintain this length. Exhale, side bend over. Inhale, increase your stretch. Keep pushing down that opposite side sit bone. Exhale, hand to your head. Now level out, find the middle between the two sit bones. One more time, exhale, side bend over. Inhale, use your breath to expand that stretch, reach your arm overhead. Exhale, hand back to your head. Inhale, back up. So when we add that arm reach, let's switch arms. That's adding a stretch for your lats, which are one of the big muscles of your back, but it's also a shoulder muscle. And it swings your arm backwards when it contracts, so that extra reaching up lets us get a little more pull on all that tissue. Okay, sorry. Just the side bend twice. Inhale, grow out of those sit bones. Exhale, side bend over and feel the work on one side of the waist, the lengthening on the other. Hold here, breathe in, feel the ribs expand with that air, and then exhale, imagine a contraction on this side now, pulling you back up. Inhale to get taller. One more, just the bend to feel the breath. Exhale, side bend. Let your head fall with you. On your inhale, use your breath to get bigger, stretch right into your skin. Exhale, stack back up, find the middle. All right, 3 more, let's add that extra stretch. Bend to the side as you exhale. Hold there. Inhale, top arm reaches overhead. Exhale, bring your hand back to your head. Now fill yourself with the air to come back up to vertical and tall. Exhale, side bend over. Hold your pose. Inhale, add the extra stretch with your arm. Exhale, hand back behind your head, and inhale all the way up. Last time. Exhale, side bend over. Inhale, increase that gentle stretch of your side. Exhale, hand back to your head, and then stack up tall. Good. Now as you return to your normal activities, hopefully you'll have a little more freedom and awareness of your breath.